Tuesday, yeah. And we are going to cover the fourth noble truth out of our Dharma recovery Dharma book that we've been talking about. So the first one, I'm just going to kind of go over these. Number one is there is suffering. We commit to understanding the truth of suffering. Number two is there is a cause of suffering. We commit to understanding that craving leads to suffering. Number three is an end to suffering. We commit to understanding and experiencing that less craving leads to less suffering. A lot of sufferings in here. And finally, tonight, there is a path that leads to the end of suffering. We commit to cultivating that path. The Buddha taught that by living ethically, practicing meditation, and developing wisdom and compassion, we can end suffering we create by resisting, running from, and misunderstanding reality. The fourth noble truth is a summary of the essential elements to recovery or awakening called the Eightfold Path. The path is a set of instructions, a practice, and a way to investigate and be aware of the unconditioned responses we cling to. These are the 8 factors of the path: wise understanding, wise intention, wise speech, wise action, wise livelihood, wise effort, wise mindfulness, and wise concentration. These 8 factors can be broken down into 3 groups: the wisdom group of wise understanding and intention, the ethics group of wise speech, action, and livelihood, and the concentration group of wise effort, mindfulness, and concentration. Each of us will understand and practice the eightfold in our own way if they're practicing recovery Dharma. We develop our wisdom, ethical practice, and concentration as far as we can in any given moment. As we come to deeper understand the Four Noble Truths, we're able to bring more effort and concentration to letting go of our greed, hatred, and confusion. Our other ethical development will cause us to reflect more deeply on the sources of our unwise actions. The Eightfold Path is a way of life that each of us follows and practices to the best of our current understanding and capacity. So to me, it sounds like the Eightfold Path is a lot like the 12 steps in GA. The path is not a religious journey and has nothing to do with prayer, belief, worship, or ceremony. It's a guide to practice and a road that leads to a deep experience of the Noble Truths. And the Noble Truths are all around suffering. Oh my goodness, it's definitely this room. So it's definitely connected to ending the suffering, ending the cravings, digging a little deeper. The questions around the fourth noble truth. Understanding that recovery and the end of suffering is possible, what is your path to recovery and ending the suffering of addiction? Be honest about the challenges you might face and the tools and resources you will use to meet those challenges. What is your path to recovery and ending the suffering of addiction? That's going to be individualized, right? What path of recovery you choose is going to be up to you. I hope that through doing stuff like this and getting more educated together, that we can find the right paths of recovery for everyone that wants to quit. Maybe Gamblers Anonymous is the right strategy. Maybe therapy is the right strategy. Maybe maybe recovery Dharma is the right strategy. So there's a lot of options, and not one person, I don't think, can dictate to you. I mean, it's great that GA is as solid as it is so that it could be like a 24/7 resource, but maybe there's something else needed to complement that. Be honest about the challenges you might face and the tools and resources you will use to meet these challenges. So there's so many freaking challenges we face when we quit. We have to deal with our own emotions. We have to deal with the fact that we're losing a relationship that chances are we've had for a really long time. So we have to deal with grief. We have to deal with clarity once we end this relationship and we see the wreckage that we're left with. We have to deal with the relationships and how to repair them. Like, there's a lot of challenges. And I'm not saying this all has to be done overnight, but there's definitely going to be obstacles. And that's why having a foundation that's built on things like self-care, stable foundation, I guess. So if it was for GA, the 12 steps is the stable foundation. It's something to always go back to, and it's like a rock, like it's the rocks of recovery. For this, it seems to be the 4 noble truths and these 8. I don't want to mess up the word that they are. The 8-fold path. What behavior can you change to more fully support your recovery? For me, I found a couple things were super important. One was developing a routine and scheduling in recovery. Like, that was one of the biggest behaviors. The other was being honest with myself, honest with other people, being open. If we're honest to our resources and open to our resources, we find that we have more support than we even could imagine. At least that's what I found, and I'm willing to bet that most people will have found that. What does it mean to you to take refuge in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha for your recovery? And because I haven't actively done this completely, I don't really know how to answer that one. Dharma was the truth, right? And Sangha was like your sponsor. And Buddha, oh my goodness. Even studying with you, I'm messing this up. Yeah, I can't find their definition of Buddha, even though I thought I had it. Okay, Dharma is truth. Okay, I was right about that one. Buddha had 2 different words, though. Oh, the awakening. Okay, here we go. So Buddha, the potential for our own awakening, the goal of the path, the Dharma, how we get there, and the Sangha, who we travel with, Sangha. So what does it mean for you to take refuge in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha? So having that awakening for me and having a path, even though I didn't know it could relate to this, to the Buddha, has been the best gift I've ever given myself. How we get there, I don't get so hung up on as far as my journey in life. I mean, it's important how we get there through recovery, but the idea is really just to live a happy, fulfilled life, in my opinion. So again, if it's using the Facebook groups, if it's joining a religious group, if it's following this, if it's 12 steps, if it's taking one of my coaching things, like whatever that option is to get you there, in my opinion, it doesn't matter which you pick. It's how you get there. And then who we travel with, I guess that aligns with who or what process we decide to go on our journey to recovery with. And then maybe also who sticks around, who's in our world when we do recover. You know, are we keeping the right people in our lives and maybe blocking out the people that we don't need to have in our lives? So that was pretty interesting. I will reread the eightfold path, and maybe we'll chat about that tomorrow. I would like to continue digging into this because it's very enlightening. I hope that you're enjoying it as much as I am. And if you are, please leave me a review or a rating. Yes, I'm asking you. I'm asking you kindly. All right, beautiful people. Short and sweet tonight as we worked through the truths. I will be back in the morning and we have one more work day. Yay, before my little vacation-ish. my vacation from my day job, we'll call it. It's not going to be like a real vacation. There's a lot to do. So, all right, everybody, have a wonderful evening.